Welcome back to another episode of War in Cali. In this episode, I'm going to talk about San Francisco rapper Lil Yase. Lil Yase was born on May 19th, 1994. He would grow up in the Sunnydale housing projects in San Francisco. Sunnydale projects will be developed in the 1940s and become one of the largest projects in San Francisco, and later become one of the most dangerous hoods and areas in the city. A lot of people from the outside may think of San Francisco as a great place to live and a great place to go on a vacation. But the city is a dangerous place with several projects hosting several different gangs all around the city. And coming from Sunnydale, known as the biggest projects in the city, you will encounter a lot growing up in that area. Growing up in Sunnydale will be tough. It's one of the most hated gangs in the city, having a lot of rivals, and just living in the projects overall is a tough environment. You know, growing up in Sunnydale, Lil Yase will see a lot, but playing sports would keep him out of some of the things around him that a lot of his homies would be going through in the streets. Sunnydale will be at war with several other hoods, so many people around him will be going to jail for several different crimes and also dying. Yase would lose close friends like Corco and Spunks, and many others along his teenage years. But always being tall would be an advantage for Yase. He would be around 6'6" and play basketball for Thurgood Marshall High School, where he would play 2 years varsity. Yase will also play on the same team as rapper Lil Bean, who's from a rival hood called the Towers. Playing high school basketball, Yase will average around 16 points a game and will gain a few scholarship offers. But going D1, the situation wouldn't work out, so Yase would start working odd jobs after high school. While he was in high school, Yase would drop a few songs, but never took music that serious. But his homie Yada would convince him to do music, and he would drop a few songs that started to gain some attention. Yase and Yada would become a dynamic duo, and in 2015, they would drop a song called Get It In. The song would put them both on the map, and it would create a wave and bring attention back to their city. Lil Yase would have the Bay and Northern California behind him, and will have a remix for Get It In, featuring other poppin' artists from Northern California, like Neff Pharaoh, Lil Blood, and Mozzie. As of now, the remix sits at 4 million views. By 2016, Yase would drop a mixtape called From the Block to a Lot, which featured other rappers from his hood like Yada, A.B. Millie, and K.E., and also other rappers like Draco the Ruler and a few other people. 2016 would be a big year for Yase. He was getting a lot of attention, and even got the attention of a star at the time, Fetty Wap, who later brought him out in a show in the Bay.
Yeah, shout out Fetty Wap for bringing me out to the Oracle. That was amazing. There was like 22,000 people there. Everybody was rocking with us. I didn't even know people was gonna know the song like that, cause I thought it was gonna be hecka like, I don't know, I thought it was gonna be like a EDM show, like a radio rip, you know. I thank Fetty Wap for that and DJ Big L. That was a blessing right there. And he from the East Coast, nobody from the West Coast brought me on yet, that shit was crazy. Shout out bro for that.
Yase would continue to make music and would collab with other artists like Cash Kid and Simba. And he dropped a mixtape with G Val called What a Time to Grind. Yase and Yada wouldn't be able to make music much, with Yada going to prison for a shooting by 2017. 2018, a lot of Yase music will be solo songs, and him trying out new styles. But he would drop a mixtape called Winter Circle that featured many artists like Mike Sherm, Lil Pete, 50 Rich, Larry June, and Draco the Ruler, among a few others. 2019, Yase wouldn't be as active with music as he was in previous years, but he still managed to drop an EP called Sorry for the Heat. It featured late rappers like Young Slowby before he blew up. 2020, Yase would be getting back into his bag, but soon tragedy would strike on November 28th, 2020. Lil Yase would be shot and killed. Police identified Yase as a victim of a shooting near a Bay Area BART station. Officers located his body at a nearby hospital, where he was admitted with multiple gunshot wounds, and he later died from a shooting. Several famous rappers like King Von and Pop Smoke, among many others, died in 2020. And unfortunately, Lil Yase's name will be added to the list of rappers who were killed.
Described as staggering along and obviously suffering from a gunshot wound to the abdomen.
A woman says the rapper flagged her down near an apartment complex on Iron Horse Parkway near the Dublin Pleasanton BART station. The woman took the rapper to Valley Care Medical Center in Pleasanton. That's where Pleasanton police were able to speak to the victim before he was transferred to Eden Medical Center in Castro Valley, where he died. But in his last breaths, while slipping in and out of consciousness, Lil Yase himself may have given police their best chance at finding his killer.
We did collect some information from our victim. Obviously, it's not something that we're going to disclose at this point, but we do have some leads.
Police found the victim's Honda near where he had been shot, but a motive isn't known.
And that's some of the questions that we really do have. The victim was from San Francisco. We know that. So why he was here in our city of Dublin is really one of the big questions we're trying to answer.
This is only the second homicide in Dublin this year. The last time someone was murdered in the city was 2009.
I don't believe this is just a random act and that we have somebody out there that the public needs to worry about.
After a 5-month investigation, police will have 2 suspects, with a woman named Angel and a man named Javante as the main suspects of being involved in killing Yase. This was supposed to be a love triangle, with Yase and Angel having past relations. Yase and Angel were possibly still having dealings with each other, so it was widely believed he was set to meet Angel in Dublin, where she had her new man with her and planned to rob Yase. But the robbery went bad, leading to Yase's death.
Bay Area rapper Angel Butler and Javante Williams were booked on murder charges yesterday. Alexander Antonio, also known as Lil Yase, was killed in November near the Dublin Pleasanton BART station. Investigators say the rapper left the studio in San Francisco and drove to Dublin to see Butler on the night he was killed. Both suspects face first-degree murder charges, and Butler faces an additional charge for conspiracy to commit a crime.
Javante and Angel's DNA were found on a shell casing, and it led to their arrest, but it wasn't their fingerprints. Angel and Javante had a kid together, and their kid's fingerprints was on a bullet, which the kid had to touch before it ever entered the gun. The kid's DNA leading back to them being the parents, it will all lead to a connection that the police put together of Angel and Yase being with each other in the past, and also leading to them tracking their cell phone records.
Lil Yase homicide investigation in Dublin took an unexpected turn last week when 2 people were arrested on suspicion of homicide and then released from jail less than 48 hours later because prosecutors declined to file charges. The rapper, whose real name is Mark Alexander, was fatally shot back in November. As Chronon's Amy Larson reports, the Alameda County District Attorney's Office has not revealed why they didn't pursue charges. And now police say a love triangle was the motive behind the shooting.
An up-and-coming Bay Area rapper known as Lil Yase was shot to death here in this quiet Dublin apartment complex. Before he died, he made a dying declaration that pointed Dublin police to 2 suspects. Police arrested Javante Williams as well as Lil Yase's ex-girlfriend, Angel Butler. However, in a twist, the Alameda County District Attorney's Office decided to drop all charges against these 2 people and release.
A few videos were released after Yase's death. His death was in the Bay in shock, as he was a person who brought light in the new Bay Area wave of artists on the rise. But still to this day, the Bay Area and his crew keep his name alive. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.